Hey, I've been talking to a friend of mine about the little video I made yesterday where I felt the ley lines and where I knew that there'd been some occult stuff going on in that area involving the devil and, bad, scary things. And I was just talking about how I love doing my Mysteries Inside Histories episodes and my historical grief investigations. And they were commenting about how, I don't know how you can look at autopsy photos and crime scenes and stuff and have it not spook you, and it really doesn't. Like, that sort of stuff doesn't bother me. I don't look at that side of the person. I don't look at that side of the victim or the perpetrator. I like to find out why. I'm fascinated with the why. Why did they do it? Why did that happen? Where did they go? Where's the evidence? Where's the blah? Like, it's like I'm like a supernatural homicide detective or something. But obviously it's not just murders and that. It can be missing people. I've been asked to look into rape cases, suicides, accidents, natural causes, all sorts. I've been asked to look at so many different kinds of like cases, and some of them are really old as well. Like, some of them go back to like the 1800s and that, because there's people who have family secrets and that, and they want to find out the truth or see things from a different perspective that I can bring them. Last year I had a woman, I made a video about it, I think called When It's Murder, and I looked at her mother's unexplained murder and confirmed to her that it was actually murder and that she was murdered by her mother's boyfriend, and I calmly told her how her mother died and what her mother was thinking. But the good thing about what I do is that not only can I bring truth and clarity to a person's family drama or untold family story, but I can also offer perspectives of the mind of the victim and the perpetrator as well. That's why my comic book partners in crime, the historical grief investigators, they work for like the FBI sort of thing, Lieutenant Sobek and Lieutenant Corazon, and they jump through time to do unsolved murder cases. And that I don't know what it is. It's like when there's something, when someone's lying, I feel it in my body before my intuition even perks up. It's like my instinct kicks in and my hair goes up, and like, I feel it in my gut. It's like my body goes bubbly, and then it's like time slows down. It's like everything goes like thick tar and everything moves in slow motion. And it's like it gives me time for my intuition to catch up with my instinct, and then that's it. It's like there's this boom, and I'm like a dog with a bone. Like, I look at every detail. Like, I have to know why I'm getting the feeling like that person's being dishonest with me. And then that's when I will sit for days, weeks, months and observe their every behaviour, taking notes on every like discrepancy, until they're caught out, or until I say, I know you lied, or I know you did this, or I know you blah, blah, blah. Because the reason why I'm like it, the DLPFC in my brain is obviously very heightened. The dorsolateral prefrontal cortex of the brain is responsible for your sense of justice, your sense of morality, your sense of doing the right thing. When it's really strong, you can't not do the right thing. Like, you will jump into action even if it puts your life in danger. You know, like me when I went to jump in and save those boys in the attempted murders at the back of my house. That's because the DLPFC in my brain is really heightened, and I couldn't not be there. The second that boy called out to me, my mum instinct kicked in, and boom, I was there. And there's something so rewarding about knowing you did the right thing. You know, like when I feel an injustice, you know, when I look at these crime scenes, I'll go through every detail, and I have this ability to be able to feel the in-between of everything that's said, everything that's done, everything that was looked at. I see things in the in-between. There's a frequency between truth and lies, or, you know, missed facts, and that they all come with certain frequencies that become like glitches in the atmosphere, and like the biomagnetic atmosphere surrounding the crime scene or the body or the event or whatever. And it's like there's like a blip in it, and I feel that blip. And when I pick up on that blip, you know, it's kind of like when you're in the deep sea, and the, you know, the underground electronic equipment and that will be looking for blips in the ocean, and everything will be fine, and then every now and then you'll just hear a boop, 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 like that, and they'll realise they've picked up something on the ocean floor that wasn't there before, and it's like an unknown anomaly, and it piques their interest because they're like, oh, that blip has never been at that frequency, at that depth, at that blah blah blah, so then they have to go and explore it. That's what I'm like. That's what my DLPFC's like. That's what my brain's like. It picks up on the bloop, and then it can't let it go. Like it has to know what it is, because once I know what it is, the blip gets smoothed out. So it's like that blip in a crime scene or in an unsolved mystery or an unexplained event is what I pick up on. And then by me figuring out how to untangle the blip or smooth the blip out, it makes the atmosphere around the crime scene or around the event or the situation, it smooths it out, and it stops grandmother from having to absorb it. Because when she picks up on the blip, once she's picked up on enough blips, those blips amalgamated could turn into an earthquake somewhere in the world, or a tsunami, or a tropical storm, or a mudslide, or, you know, whatever. And so by me doing my historical grief investigations and my mysteries inside histories, because I will do these mysteries inside histories and then stumble into a historical grief investigation, like at Richmond Castle when I stumbled across the man that was starving. That was a mysteries inside histories that became a historical grief investigation, and it wiped me for 6, because there was injustices done against the pure and innocent, and that's what I picked up on. And once I figured it out, and I was able to come to a conclusion in my mind that I was on the right track with my observation, then I was able to get my girl Michelle, whose ancestors were also involved in that tragedy and the starvation of those people. Then we were able to use our combined energies to lift the frequency from the grounds and completely shut that portal down, so that not only would that man no longer be suffering, but other people wouldn't be aware of it either. So it ceased paranormal activity at the castle, and, you know, in the Richmond town area. And that's why I do what I do. When I'm able to shut these energetic portals down and seal them off, it stops the soul from wandering in fear and torment, because they no longer have access to that. You know, I change the frequency in the portal so they can't slip through that frequency to create paranormal activity, because then grandmother hasn't absorbed it and recorded it into her into her organic material. She's not absorbed it like a sponge. So then that stops paranormal activity in the area, and people won't be haunted by visions of seeing a man starving to death walking around the common grounds and that. And that's why I love doing my historical grief investigations, because I get to stop all of that. And then at the same time, I get to answer questions that historians and genealogists can't answer. I fill in the gaps, and that's what I'm saying, because I smooth out the blimp, because I fix the glitch in the atmosphere. I fill in the blanks, and then instead of like a bridge being a weak structure, it then becomes strong and sturdy because I've laid enough bricks in it. I've put enough energetic bricks into that bridge to make it strong enough for life and death to coincide happily without any fear of the bridge collapsing in the middle if anyone tries to cross it, so to speak. So if anyone crosses that frequency's atmosphere, they won't run into any paranormal activity or anything negative, because I have smoothed out the atmosphere enough that that history and present day can coexist peacefully without there being any blips or glitches in the matrix. And I get offered to look at all sorts of cases. And it was through looking at like the Hinterkaifeck murders and the DeFeo murders and all that as a kid that helped me hone this gift in. So I just thought I'd explain why I am the way that I am. Because I am a gatekeeper, because I am the seventh element, energy, frequency, vibration, senses, that sort of thing. Anything to do with energy, frequency, vibration, senses, magnetism, gravity, anything like that. Anything that is has a consciousness and has a conscious awareness and has a flow within the universe. That's what I pick up on, which is why I was able to pick up on those ley lines. I feel it. I physically feel it in my body. I've become so highly tuned and sensitive to energy now that I can feel when, I've been places where I've known which direction the water was going to be in because I felt it in my skin. I've known when we were going to have thunder because I felt it on my skin. I've known, when something bad was going to happen because I felt it before I saw it. I feel it in my body. I'm like a tuning fork for the universe, and I go around the planet twanging my little tuning fork, and then recalibrating myself and the atmosphere around me in order to bring harmony and peace to the surrounding area, because then it ceases paranormal activity, stops people from being afraid, answers questions in history that wasn't there before, and alleviates grandmother of paranormal activity. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why once my empire's set up and I've got all my staff in place, I'm off to do my investigations, and I want to record them and turn it into a show for my channel. Historical grief and mysteries inside histories. And with the historical grief ones, I want to actually sit, I want to go to people's houses and have them come to me and say, can you look at this case please and tell me what you think? Can you, because I've had people come to me and say, like there was a little boy that died in a fire, and his mother wanted to know whether the boy's stepdad started the fire and whether the boy was an Illuminati sacrifice. So trust me when I say I get asked to do all sorts. So, but I love it because I love helping people find answers to the questions that some of these families have been seeking for decades and decades, even centuries. So I like to take my time and I go over it, and then I stand in the in-between. So I just thought I would explain that, because I have these conversations with my friends and I think, oh, other people might like to know that. So I'm just putting that out there. My Highway of Tears is a big one for me. That's a case that I've been sitting on for many years. And yeah, that's not the sort of thing I can go into until I have protection, I think. But you know, I promised those girls that I would play my flute loud for them, so I will, because I think people might suspect they know what's going on there, but I'm convinced I know the truth. So anyway, I just thought I would share, and I will speak to you later.